Hey everybody, welcome to Breakfast All Day. Alonso's here with Matt and Christy. We're getting caught up on a film that dropped on Amazon Prime Christmas Day that you should absolutely be checking out, and that would be Sylvie's Love. Matt, tell us about it.
Sylvie's Love tells the story of Sylvie, played by Tessa Thompson. It starts off with her in this beautiful dress outside a theater waiting to go see Nancy Wilson. She seems to have been stood up, and she turns around and she sees someone that she then says, Robert Holloway. And then we cut to 5 years earlier, where Sylvie is now working in a record store. Young Sylvie, it turns out she's working for her dad in her record store. Then there's a young saxophone player played by Nnamdi Asomugha, who wanders into the store and buys a record and is immediately smitten with Sylvie. And we get to see this budding romance, in spite of the fact that Sylvie is engaged to a soldier that's away in the Korean War. But this summer of 1957, I believe, finds Robert and Sylvie falling more and more for each other. But then Robert he gets the chance to go off touring in Paris with the rest of his band, a huge opportunity for a jazz band at that point. So he leaves her, and she decides she's not going to go with him. And we see Sylvie's life continue with Robert coming in and out of it. I don't want to give too much away. This movie is perfect. I absolutely love this movie. This movie is very much a throwback to the types of movies you would see in that specific era. It's written and directed by Eugene Ashe. If I had read correctly, I believe it's shot on 16 millimeter. It is lavishly staged. The costuming in here is stunning, but most of all, the acting here, this story is wonderful. And the acting here, Tessa Thompson, I've never seen her be better than in this. And there's times in this film that she struck me as some of the more slightly older but vulnerable roles that we would see from Judy Garland. I absolutely loved her in this. Nnamdi Asomugha as this jazz saxophone player who could actually be the next Coltrane is smoldering in this. He's very, very charming. He's very handsome. He's very polite and earnest. And I almost want to use the word wholesome, and that's maybe not right, but there's a joy to their relationship, and there's a joy that comes across this whole film. This film choked me up in a couple of places, and
it's old-fashioned in the best way.
It's old-fashioned in the best way. This is the kind of movie that you look back and say, boy, they don't make them like that anymore. And you say that in the best possible way, and I can't say enough good about this movie. Again, this is the type of movie this is why I have the career that I have. And the feeling from this movie will get me through 3 months of garbage, right? And I mean that in a good, because at the end of the day, and I think this is for a lot of us, we're chasing the dragon of seeing a movie that you're just blown away by. And this one, boy, give me more of that. I mean, this is damn.
It's a throwback in the best possible way, but with the kind of characters you wouldn't ordinarily see, because usually they would all be white. And that's part of what's so great about this, is that it takes place in Harlem in the 50s and 60s. And it's a kind of rich and detailed love story that never would have featured Black characters. So that's what's so lovely about, was one of the many things that are so lovely about Sylvie's Love. Yeah, the costume design is impeccable, and the interiors. I love
all the period the tale is.
Yeah, I love Lance Reddick as her dad.
The TVs, everying.
And I love that she loves television. Like this, her dream is to go work in television. And the idea that like a woman can be a TV executive, much less a woman of color, just seems so unheard of. And she's just like, no, I'm going to do this. And she won't be talked down a bit, nor should she.
Yeah, on Who Shot You, the podcast that I do, Ife Wadaway will always talk about how, there are films about whether it's Black characters or, feminist films or queer films, or whatever, that are about the struggle, and then there are movies that don't feel the need to have to be about that we can just sort of like let these characters exist and succeed and fail on their own merit and not have to deal with the larger historical context of suffering and travail. And this is not a movie about Black people in the 50s and 60s dealing with the struggle. This is about Black people in the 50s and 60s falling in love, looking great, and like chasing their dreams in the arts. And it's just a delight.
We should talk about Nnamdi real fast, because for those of you who ever watched Kroll Show,
yes,
Publicity,
yeah,
when Liz G gets married, Nnamdi is who she marries. He plays like a version of himself on this. This is like an early acting foray for him. He used to be a football player.
That's so fun. No, I had no idea that he was because why would I?
Yeah, I mean,
but I was like, who is
Raiders,
this guy?
In spite of him being on the Raiders, I still think he's great.
Yeah, I had never heard of him, did not recognize him from Kroll Show, but yeah, he's great in this. He's like so charismatic, and he and Tessa Thompson are just like have firing on all cylinders. And yeah, you're right, Matt. This is, I think, the best we've gotten to see her so far in film, and I'm just constantly blown away by the, you know, she can show up in a film like you know, like we first saw her, I think, in Dear White People, and then in Creed, and then in Thor Ragnarok, and it's like be giving you completely different shadings and different areas where she can create these characters. And this one, and now as Sylvie, you know, it's like,
and Westworld.
And when Westworld, yeah, absolutely,
she's incredibly versatile.
She can just bring all this different stuff to the table, and it's always exciting. And I think there's the sky's the limit for her as far as being an actress. She's so incredibly versatile and just such a spot on performer.
The supporting cast here.
Go ahead.
The supporting cast here is also sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to agree. It's really cool to see, because she's not had a chance to play a romantic lead like this. She's always been a badass. There's a toughness about her in all of her previous roles. And there's a toughness here too. It's not like she's weak in any way. She absolutely knows who she is and what she wants, but it's within a totally different kind of context. And that's really cool to see. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to point out, we have this terrific supporting cast here. Lance Reddick as her father and he's always a delight to watch, but he's really, really great in this. Aja Naomi King as her friend Mona. And that's the closest we get to the talk of the struggle, is that she's off in Atlanta working on that kind of stuff. But that become a whole central thing. And
when they introduce her as like, oh, I'm registering voters and stuff, I thought, oh, here we go. Like that's the Chekhov's, you know, 60s protester. But she's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Vijay Jean Page.
Yes.
The Duke from Bridgerton.
Yes. But also like Jemima Kirke pops up for a couple of scenes. Eva Longoria, Wendi.
Longoria, who I almost didn't recognize, but she was great. Wendi McClendon-Covey as
so funny,
the TV star. And you get this. And what's great about her and her cooking show is it, without getting totally distracted from the show, we get to see why Sylvie is good at what she does, right? Without a total like sidestep, because it really is about her love story. I like that they did that. This movie is so rich, and
Ron Funches.
Yes, and I also
John Magaro, first cow star, John Magaro. Yeah,
and who plays Sylvie's mom, who's the terrifying etiquette teacher? I forget, but she's great too.
Yeah,
anyway.
I don't. Was it?
And I like seeing
Erica
that too.
Erica Gimple.
Because it's like she's this really refined and nitpicky etiquette teacher. And again, that's the kind of character you would see in a film with a white cast, and that would take place in the South, and she'd be uptight and nitpicky about her debutantes. And that's, to see that placed here is so interesting.
And the whole snobbery about who Sylvie should and shouldn't marry in terms of the parents, or at least the mother's notion of, the family and their, ranking and stuff. Yeah, all of that stuff. And, I was telling Matt before we started, when I reviewed this for TheWrap, I said this reminded me of those sort of high gloss Ross Hunter movies from the 50s and 60s. And then later I read an interview with the writer-director Eugene Ashe, where he said he wanted to make a Black Doris Day movie. And I was like, well, you have, sir.
Yeah.
The music in this is second to none. The music choices for the songs that are playing are perfect. They're perfect. And they fit right into the film.
I watched this back to back with Soul, actually, which was a really
that's
interesting.
great. That's
jazz
really
night.
smart.
Feature. Yeah,
That's an excellent double feature. The New
Yeah.
York jazz scene in the 50s and 60s. I love that. That's
for sure.
awesome. So I'm saying 8.5.
I said 8, which is what I said when I reviewed it, and I'm locked into it now at Metacritic, but I like it more than that. But I'll just say 8 for now.
I'll fix that. I give it a 10.
Bravo.
I give it an 11 if I could.
So 8.8 is our number. It's quite lovely. It's the kind of
Yes.
movie that, again, we say this all the time. I wish I could have seen this in a theater because it's
for
so
sure.
extremely beautiful.
Yeah.
But here's
And
the other thing about this movie that I want to add is in these trying times, with all of the crap that's going on, this will soothe your soul.
yeah. And if you want to have an Amazon viewing party with your parents, this is a great one.
You should mention Declan Quinn shot this, FYI.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah.
That's
And
why it's so beautiful.
he also shot Hamilton, right?
Yes, he did. Anyway, so go check it out on Amazon.
Absolutely. So thanks for watching, you guys. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And why not drop by our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. A lot of fun stuff that only our subscribers get. Our TV recaps, we're digging into WandaVision, and we're talking about Bridgerton, which, as Christy mentioned, the very handsome Roger Jean Page pops up here. And we're also taking votes right now from our subscribers about which classic we'll be reviewing in January, and then they'll be the only ones who get to see it. So sign up, patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. Have a good week, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.